I'm Jeph Loeb, and he's Jeff Bell.
Nice.
There you go. That's trademarked, by the way.
What can we do for you?
So Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider, yeah.
Ghost Rider.
Can you tell us about that?
Not a lot. Robbie Reyes, we mentioned, played by a guy named Gabriel Luna.
He's a terrific young actor that we searched high and far and wide, and Gabe came in and just killed it. And so we're very excited about what he's doing.
And it I would say, as Jeff has said before, S.H.I.E.L.D. has always been about exploring the unusual, the surprising, the odd, the inexplicable, and Ghost Rider and his universe is a new slice of that world. We haven't really explored those kind of stories before, and so we're looking forward to doing that.
Since Ghost Rider is like a creature of like the mystic, will that also tie in with like Doctor Strange?
Wouldn't that be cool?
Wouldn't that be awesome? It's certainly, whenever the television division and the film division and the publishing division find something that we can, hashtag it's all connected, that's very cool.
I have a
So
question.
will you get more budget for the next season?
Sorry?
If you can connect it more, will you get a higher budget for the episodes for the next season?
I don't know anything about that.
I do. No. You had a question.
As Marvel's Most Wanted was not picked up, is there a chance that we will see more of Bobby and Hunter, perhaps in other Marvel properties? Please say yes.
Can somebody walk over my grave?
Let's just say nothing's impossible.
A question that I have is because you guys have a new time slot and based on the fact that you guys have most previous seasons to go with, what does that mean for this coming season? Are you guys able to get darker and more edgy with a later time slot? Are you guys able to sort of get more complex because you have other seasons to build upon? Can you talk a little bit about?
I liked all his answers.
I would say yes and yes to that. Thank you for answering those questions. We have a lot of characters on the show, and we try and make it complicated without it being confusing. And drawing on the past 3 seasons and those relationships and finding characters to occasionally bring back is always satisfying, as well as finding new characters to bring in and take it to another level. Going later certainly allows us to explore different kinds of stories a little bit. It's still a network television show versus a Netflix TV show, but it doesn't mean we don't try and find really sort of new and interesting ways to tell stories.
But certainly I think ABC has responded in many ways to some of the other television series that we've been doing and has encouraged us to embrace some of that. I don't know that we would ever go quite as dark as some of the Netflix shows, but there's certainly opportunities for us to explore more mature themes or things that will be exciting as long as it stays within the context of the show. We're not all of a sudden going to shift into a different gear because we went to 10 o'clock.
And other than Deadpool, most part of Marvel's brand is
4-quadrant family films. That's what we do.
And so some of those are darker than others, but in general, that's, we've got daughters. We want them to watch the show as well as our moms. I liked it very much.
Do we get that channel?
That
get ABC. It's actually
something.
It's one of the free ones.
There was a lot of speculation that Clark Gregg might have a cameo on Iron Fist. Is that still a possibility? And would it be as Coulson or as another character?
No, I think what you're actually misquoting a promise that I have made to Clark, which is that Clark has said to me he does not care what he needs to do, what outfit he needs to wear, what time of day or night, but he has got to at some point meet the Iron Fist. That is what he has said. And I have said to him, okay, we'll see when that happens.
Okay, thank you.
And I never want to disappoint Clark. But wouldn't it be super cool if Phil Coulson showed up in one of those shows?
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
So what about the Inhumans?
Hang on a second. She asked a question.
What can you tell us about life model decoys, and if they're just coming into play now, are we ever going to find out what Matt Conwell's character was?
Yes.
You mean the brothers? The Koenig brothers? Here's our biggest problem with Patton. He's so popular. He's on like 30 shows. You notice that? I mean, he's always doing a lot. And
But
so-
he is incredibly in love with this show and has continually says, yes, I'll come back anytime I can. And you sort of go, okay, when will you be available?
and
So
the-
we wish there were other Patton Oswalt.
Can I tell them who he really wants to be?
Yes.
He really wants to be MODOK. He wants to be a giant floating head that moves
With a little tiny body.
with a little tiny body and go around like kill people. So life model decoy, something we hinted at the end of last season. If we're any good at our job, hopefully we won't drop that ball.
In fact, we'll throw it all the way into the end zone.
And we would love to get Patton back, and I'm not going to say answer your questions, but at least
Complicated further.
yeah, because it's really fun.
And he's awesome to work with. It's everything you want Patton Oswalt to be.
So what can you tell us about the Inhumans? Are we going to see any new ones? Is Elena coming back?
Who coming back?
Elena?
Yeah,
I think we should say.
Yeah, we love Elena. Yes.
Yes.
The Inhumans have not gone away. You know, they are now out in the world, and though last year was sort of the Inhumans are new and big and out front, they're still part of our world. I mean, Daisy's an Inhuman, and she's an Inhuman, and we've got several others we've met, and so they're not going anywhere. And so the issues that came up at the end of last year, and the Sokovia Accords, all those things affect our Inhumans as well as S.H.I.E.L.D.'s job with other Inhumans. So yes, there will still be plenty of that.
Absolutely. The things that happened in Marvel Civil War, the film, have a direct effect in terms of what S.H.I.E.L.D. does for a living and also what happens to how people perceive the Inhumans. But again, I think the more interesting answer is that, where Marvel lives best is as a metaphor for what's going on around us. And we live in a very challenging time right now in terms of how people see other cultures, diversity, differences between people. And if we don't figure out that we're all sharing the same planet, and we better figure out how to work together and not put up walls around it. The only wall we ought to have is something that gets torn down so that we can all be together and figure it out. That's a world that S.H.I.E.L.D. is fighting for. To make people understand that just because you're different, it doesn't mean that we're not the same.
Thank you all so much.
What app is that? That's cool.